Back to where the action is. WICR.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we're going to get on our next topic now.
Talking pretty official there, Robert.
Somewhat.
With the Lacoste polo on.
I mean, for the listeners, they obviously couldn't see it, but,
Yeah,
anyway,
let's
get right into it. Major League Baseball, so...
Chris Bryant's big debut, Christmas at Wrigley.
Yeah, that's rare. No, it's been a while since they've gotten that. Chris Bryant, after the 12 days, he's been called up to the majors, and his first start was
horrendous.
Oh, he almost
He went 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts on 10 pitches.
He almost had the golden sombrero. He was 1 strikeout away. Luckily,
Yeah.
he made it. Over 3 strikeouts, like you said. You said 10 pitches?
10 pitches.
10 pitches.
9 of them were looking, I think.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say a little overzealous, but if 9 of them were looking, then I guess not. Then he was nervous.
Nine strikes looking, I think.
But after that game, he hasn't been tearing it up. But what do you expect? He comes from the minor leagues, and the major leagues is literally a whole nother ball game. So.
Rob, it's just like how players in the NFL or the NHL will say, you go from college
Or NBA.
or the NBA where it's extremely fast, but then
Or it's slow.
no.
Well, it depends on the sport, really.
Well, no. You go from the NCAA basketball, college football, college hockey, to the pro ranks, and it's fast in college. But all of a sudden, you go to the pros, and it's like fast forwarded 100 times.
Yeah.
You just have to know. You have to see.
Everyone's bigger, stronger, more athletic.
Yeah. It's like playing chess or checkers. You have to
And
see
more
10 moves
discipline.
ahead. You have to see 10 moves ahead. But I think that Chris Bryant, I think he's the real deal.
He's starting to get in his own now.
The guy hit over 40 home runs, I believe, last season in the minors or something like that, at both AA and AAA. He crushed it absolutely in spring training for the Cubbies. And over in Iowa, where he's playing for the Cubs AAA farm team, he crushed it again. And then the second day, where did he go? 3 for 5?
3 for 5. He hasn't had a home run yet, though. But.
No. So in his first 2 games, banged 300. Exactly. That's Hall of Fame.
And this Cubs team is actually looking up. They have a lot of young talent. Soler and Castro's been there for
and
years.
Rizzo.
Rizzo, yes, he's the guy that's kind of forgotten about because he's a little older, but not that much. No, he's not that old.
And the addition of Lester, although he's an experienced veteran, but
And he hasn't been doing all that great. But
no.
This Cubs team,
$25 million for nothing.
Now in the National League, we're used to the same teams, not the same teams, but roughly
being competitive.
One of the
Or at
same
the top
teams
of their
winning
divisions.
their divisions. Dodgers in the West, Cardinals in the Central, and in the East it usually be like the Braves or the Phillies. But now those divisions are starting to flip upside down.
Your Mets are 10-3, best team in baseball.
Well,
Congratulations.
The
tied.
The Tigers are 10-2. The Tigers played.
Okay.
The Mets played more games. But,
Yeah.
The Mets they have a good chance at winning the East. Although the Nationals, they got worth. Man back. And then you also have the Padres in the West and the Cubs in the Central.
Rob, for me, I don't like to make my predictions or my.
I'm not making. No, this is before the season even started. I didn't do this.
No. Once the season starts, I don't like to make my end of season predictions or analysis until about mid-May, beginning of June. So you give a team roughly 50, 60 games under their belt to really let them.
Then those wouldn't really be predictions, then if you change them, But,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, but that's the way it is. But let's talk. Let me just talk about a couple things. First, there's some really hot hitters in baseball. Now I'm gonna talk about with my
Agon.
team. Yes, Adrian Gonzalez still on his hot streak, but I'm gonna start with a hometown guy, not a hometown guy, but for my team, the Mets, Lucas Duda.
What about Alex?
Can you wait? Lucas Duda has been on an absolute tear, hitting 348.
Huh.
He has 8 RBIs. Hasn't really been hitting the long ball, but he doesn't need to. He's hitting over 300. There's a whole bunch of players that Mets hitting over 300. David Wright was before he got injured for 3 weeks. Michael Kadar was, doing his thing. Travis d'Arnaud's hitting over 300. That team's hitting really well. Surprisingly, Alex Rodriguez is actually on fire right now. He's the lone player on that Yankee team that's actually supplying some offense.
Well, Rob,
he is that team.
Alex Rodriguez, that guy is a natural ball player, and whether or not you want to go say his numbers are all steroid enhanced or the results of PEDs and everything else like that, I think that you have to look at Alex Rodriguez for what he is. The guy can hit a fastball, tremendously. 471 feet inside sometimes. And he can also go lace the curveball and everything. So the guy at 39, he's as good as he was at 18. And he's enjoying the game. Like yesterday, he's saying, I'm having the time of my life.
However,
Rob,
here's the thing I have to talk about.
I think that when you look at the Yankees team, you look at A-Rod is really the one player that they can't do without. But back a few months ago, you thought it was going to be the reverse situation where A-Rod wouldn't be able to do without the Yankees. The Yankees need him now.
More than ever.
More than ever.
And I was just going to say that the fact that A-Rod's the best hitter on his team actually spells doom for the Yankees team. Because if you have a 39-year-old, dinosaur as your best hitter, then you're in trouble. No, I mean you're in trouble. Not you, but the Yankees are in trouble if that's the case. If that's going to keep going on for the rest of the year, then it's not looking good. The Red Sox have the best record in that division. So we'll see what happens.
No, and I mean the Yankees pitching staff is absolutely garbage.
Yeah.
This season, Tanaka with his velocity issues and elbow issues.
I mean they've had a lot of injuries too. So
yeah, and CC, he's basically just a fat old man.
Hey,
and
you want to call him that? Go right ahead.
And Pineda, you never know what you can get out of him.
Yeah, but he's pretty erratic. But we're gonna talk about right now the hottest hitter in baseball, Nelson Cruz. Nelson Cruz, I mean, obviously early in the season you're gonna have a lot of hot streaks, but Nelson Cruz right now is just unpitchable. You cannot pitch to him. He's gonna hit it. And the great thing, he's using home runs, but he's not only hitting home runs. He got a walk-off single the other day actually. So he's hitting everything. He's hitting singles, doubles. He's getting home runs, RBIs. He leads the league in both. So he's on a tear of his own. So him and Gonzalez right now.
They're turning it up on the West Coast.
Absolutely. And that's actually been a little bit of a trend recently. The West Coast baseball is, starting to rise.
I mean,
last year we had the Dodgers, Giants.
Rob, I think that if you look at West Coast athletics, it's more exciting in general. I mean, we were just talking about the NBA. West Coast basketball is more exciting. West Coast baseball is more exciting. You have better rivalries over there, or at least west of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
I mean, here on the East Coast, I mean, look, Celtics-Knicks. Is there any great rivalry there? No. Red Sox-Yankees. Yeah, sure, it's a great rivalry with great history and everything, but it's dead right now. In hockey, it's dead right now. In football, I mean, there's nothing great out here, but I mean,
Giants Eagles is pretty lopsided right now, but
yeah, but on the West Coast, even in football, on the West Coast we have Niners, Seahawks, teams like that.
One. I mean, in the AFC West, not really. All those teams really just make a rivalry.
Bears, Packers, all those games like that.
That's not really West. I don't know why you put that in the Western.
Well, Midwest, West.
No, Midwest is kind of lumped together with East a little bit.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Because the Midwest mentality is so far different from the Western. But
yeah, but it's definitely not Eastern.
It wouldn't be Western. It'd be closer to Eastern than it is Western. But in terms of baseball, remember last year you had the Dodgers and the Giants both making the playoffs, and you had the Athletics. Well, the Athletics almost made it. They had the Angels who made it. So the Angels, Athletics, Dodgers, Giants, and the Padres are the one team that was left out, and now the Padres are on the upswing. So California baseball, I guess California in particular, really, is starting to look up right now.
Yeah.
So anything else that you noticed in the baseball season, Bill, or anything that
baseball season? I mean, the Phillies, they're doing horrible as everyone expected. Miami's doing horrible as everyone expected.
That actually I'll admit, that kind of helped the Mets' 7-game winning streak. They played those teams. But, they won 2 out of 3 against Washington, lost 2 against Atlanta, and then swept Marlins and Phillies. But, they play Atlanta today, and then you play the Yankees on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the Bronx.
Rob, as always, I mean, I'm very interested in seeing how the Cubbies do this season. Yeah. Because the Cubbies, supposedly, they're thinking over there on the north side of Chicago that this is their year.
It's a strange year we live in where the Chicago Cubs might be better than the New York Yankees. Isn't that kind of weird? Who would have thought we'd see that?
No, Rob. People are saying that the Cubs might actually make it to the World Series and win a pennant, and end that 107-year drought.
Not this year. That's not happening this year. Okay.
No, tell me. Explain. Crazy Joe and company might spring fall baseball. It's Wrigley. New
Look at
renovations,
the roster.
new team, new rings, new trophies.
Guess what? The Marlins had the exact same thing in 2012, and they were the worst team in that division. So, you know, remember how they got all those new players? How they got Reyes and and you know, all those players. I can't even.
Players that don't even play there anymore.
Exactly. Heath Bell, you know, who retired.
Some that don't even play in this country anymore.
Exactly. And that team went nowhere, and they're still nowhere at this point. And that's another team that people actually had playing pretty well with the acquisition of D. Gordon and so on. But no, this roster is too young, too unproven. Chris Bryant just came into the league.
Oh, Ian Desmond. In his first 12 games, 8 errors.
Yes, I forgot to mention that.
Yes.
Ian Desmond.
What's wrong with him?
Has been absolutely awful at shortstop. He committed an error in all 3 games against the Mets. Actually, I remember that.
Does he have some medical issue or whatever? Or are they looking into that?
No, he's hitting actually really well. He's hitting really well. So it wouldn't be medical issue. It's just mental. It has to be mental.
Well, Rob, it seems like he has a Chuck Knobloch issue. The former second baseman for the Yankees who wasn't able to get the ball out of his glove clearly or cleanly.
You know, if I could relate a little bit, you know, the Mets they have players similar to Daniel Murphy. Daniel Murphy is a guy who can hit the ball, but at second base, you can't do it. You know? He has a lot of, you know, had a lot of bad plays on defense at second base, but he's at a natural position, you know. And speaking of, you know, defensively challenged shortstops, Starlin Castro on the Cubs, you know.
Starlin Castro makes tremendous plays, Rob. I think he's just a lazy player, a guy that wants to do more than he has to.
I mean, I'm sure Ian Desmond makes spectacular plays every now and then too, but he's in general a bad defensive shortstop. And Starlin Castro is actually one of the, you know, leaders in errors. For the past couple years.
Rob. I think that players like Starlin Castro and Hanley Ramirez and other infielders throughout Major League Baseball.
Robinson Cano.
Robinson Cano didn't commit that many errors.
Oh no, he's not. I thought you meant in terms of like the way they play.
No. I think that some of those players that are very exciting and flashy, that sometimes they get too caught up in the highlight and Sports Center top 10 plays that they forget the fundamentals. And really,
I mean, Brandon Phillips in Cincinnati is one of those guys, and he is one of the best defensive second baseman in baseball.
Yeah, but some guys can handle it and some guys can't.
Yeah, and these guys clearly can't. Starlin Castro clearly cannot. You know. And I brought him up because we talked about earlier. You know, I know we're kind of all over the place, but bear with us.
Wait,
Chris Bryant.
Rob, speaking about great or not so great defensive shortstops, can you just talk about Jose Iglesias
From Detroit?
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm gonna be completely honest with the audience right now. I almost exclusively watch Met games, so if I could be completely honest with you. But I know he plays for the Tigers.
Yeah, but Jose Iglesias, this guy was coming up with Castro, but the Red Sox organization kept him in the minors for a little while longer to really go develop his bat. But now he's in the majors, and for what a great player he is, you know, you really don't hear anything about him out there outside Detroit. But I think
he gets overshadowed by, you know, V-Mart and Miggy. You know.
Yeah, but Rob, I think that goes to show you that even in Major League Baseball, like, who cares if a guy like Starlin Castro or Hanley Ramirez if they make errors, because the bat does all the talking. But it's exactly how it is in the NFL or NBA. It's all offense. The only difference offensive driven.
The only difference is Ian Desmond's errors that actually cost the Nationals some games. If Ian Desmond did not commit the errors he made against the Mets, the Nationals would have won that series. Like, if you actually were to watch it, the Nationals would have won that series if it weren't for those Desmond errors. So defense actually plays a very important role. You know, the certain things that you don't think are important are only important when you need them. Like kicking in football. People, you know, talk about kickers or they're athletes when they need them, you know, and they mess up. They want to get at them. But when they win something, they're like, oh, you're supposed to do that. You know?
Yeah, Rob, I mean, I'm sure that the Patriots and their fans, they loved Adam Vinatieri when he hit one right through the uprights to win a Super Bowl versus the Rams.
He did it twice.
Yeah.
Against the Rams and against the Panthers. That's right. So, and the reason I brought up earlier before in this segment, I talked about Starlin Castro and how bad he is on defense. Now I brought him up because earlier in this segment we brought up Chris Bryant and how he was brought up, and for a long time Starlin Castro has been trade bait. You know, they've been looking to trade him for a while, and I think that, you know, it could be the right move, you know, because he's been there for a while and the Cubs haven't been much better, you know, and this team is looking for like a youth movement, you know. So, and the Cubs,
so to speak,
the Cubs probably have one of the best farm systems in baseball.
They're looking for Cubbies, not Bears.
Yeah, if they make it, they're still Cubs. They're Bears. They'd be, put on a helmet.
You know what I mean? They're
strap-
looking for younger players.
Yes.
Robert, that one just flew right over you like a cardinal.
Or that one wasn't as good. But
No. Flew right past it like a Chris Carpenter fastball.
Anyway, so it could be a movie. This team they
Didn't
could
get
build.
the joke.
No, I got it. It just wasn't a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, hey, we all have them. But it seems like they're gonna build around Anthony Rizzo. He seems like that's the guy that they're gonna, or I guess Chris Bryant maybe, but he just came to me. You just can't build him around him already. Actually, when he was brought up, they put him in the fourth. They put him in the cleanup spot. With Rizzo batting third, I believe. So.
Rob, I think that those two players are gonna be the two parts of the foundation building forward, and also Jorge Soler.
Yeah, Jorge Soler. That's right.
Yeah. So.
And
No, I think that those are the three pieces that you're like if you're a Cubs front office personnel that you're looking at for the next 5-10 years potentially, and John Lester's just someone for the now. He's really not someone for the future.
Can you imagine if they would have kept Jeff Samardzija?
Yeah.
That would have.
Yeah.
But now he's
Yeah.
he's on the south side of Chicago now, and he's struggling. So.
Southside.
Yeah.
Southside Hitman.
Yep. So that ends our segment now, and we will be right back, and we will get into our debate topic.
Go Cubbies. And go get